Ladies and gents, looky what I got. Superduke 3.0, 1290. Right, let's mount it. I am, as I mentioned quite a bit, 5'9", and I'm on not tippy toes, but I'm not flat footing. Oh, very nice dash. Oh. Oh. So this is the 2020 model, Superduke 3.0. I've not ridden the first gen, but I've ridden the second gen. So this will be an interesting comparison because I think this has got a whole new chassis and everything. Let's go. Whoa. So initial impressions, it pulls away really quickly. What's funny is last week I rode the S1000 XR for 2020, which is what, 165 brake. I'll put a link in up in the corner. And this week I'm on 175 brake. So I was meant to ride this on the same day as the 790 adventure video. Again, another link in the top, but as you saw, it was absolutely bending it down. It's either like 175 brake or like 178 or something along those lines. I'll put it in I put it along the bottom now. But they were just like, oh, I don't really want to let you out on a bike with the most legal semi-slick tyres you can buy and nearly 180 horsepower, which is fair enough. It's actually quite comfortable. Comparing the seat to the 790 Adventure, which is meant to be more of a touring bike, I'd say this is almost more comfortable. This van is going so slow. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where did that van go? It's just a sort of a point and shoot. It's so flickable and so direct. So like small inputs, you can just flick it over. I'm warming up my tyres, officer. As I mentioned, this is it's all new for 2020, so I think it's still the LC8 engine. Fuel reserve, really? Don't know if you saw that, but the front wheel came up. First gear. So this bike is just, if you pin it in any gear, front wheel comes off the floor. I think first, second, third. If you open it up, I've got wheelie control on as well, and I did promise Mr. KTM man that I wouldn't turn off wheelie control. This thing has got stupid power. So it seems like they've brought the torque level down a bit. So like, as in they've brought the torque further down the rev range, which just means it's just so grunty. Like, it will just go. As I said before, I've ridden the I rode the outgoing model, so the Superduke 2.0, so that was the 20, I don't know when they bought it in, but it's like a essentially a 2018, 2019 model. And it seems like this is quite a bit more refined. Like, I remember that being quite vibey, quite not uncontrollable, but quite you knew you were riding something with a lot of power. So doing 40 mile an hour in fifth, and it's actually really quite comfortable. There's no weight on my arms. I am leant forward, but I'm not in a painful position, should we say. You know when you get on a sports bike and a couple of minutes in, your wrists are already aching and your back's, well, you sit on it and you're like, oh, my back's gonna hurt by the end of this. Obviously, I mean, I'm doing 65 now, as you can clearly see by this massive dash. And I am in the wind, but it's no different to any other naked bike. I'm not getting buffeted around at all. Oh, this thing has got oodles of torque. I say oodles because I've been watching too many Teapot 1 videos. This quick shift is pretty good. There's a lot of movement on the lever. 4,500 revs, not even going for it, and it goes up into third easy. The thing I'm most impressed with so far is the handling of it. It just seems to flick incredibly easily. I mean, the power's ridiculous as well, but I'm trying not to scream like a little girl like I did in the XR video. There's a bit of a jolt with a quick shifter, but to be fair, it's a 1301cc engine. I'm barely touching the throttle and I can just nip past. It is very effortless just to overtake, which is nice. But then I think that's down to the colossal amount of torque this thing's got. I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'll put it down the bottom of the screen how much torque we're looking at, but it's just got loads of the stuff. Senna keeps shouting say a command at me. Like, the commands don't work even when I want them to, and the worst thing about it is it just shouts say a command at you all the time. Say a command. Where is George? I've completely lost George, and I haven't even started. He's come along today, and I think it was more a case of he wanted to see what this bike was like, but also it's just that extra thing where I don't know if you guys watch Chase on Two Wheels, but he's recent videos he's got a camera car, and it just makes the footage so much better because he can get an external shot. Bye. Holy ball bags. It just wheelies everywhere. The brakes are really good. One that needs nowhere near the floor, but it handles lovely. I'm not even in sport mode. Should we put it in sport mode? How do we put it in sport mode? KTM My Ride. So let's go down to ride mode. Street, sport, close throttle, twist grip. There you go, like the others. Right, so ladies and gents, we are now in sport mode. As soon as you get above that 4,500, 5,000 RPM, that front wheel just comes up, but the wheelie control holds it there, so you look like an absolute boss. The brakes are fantastic. I think they're Brembo Silemas. I can't remember, or they're M50s, I can't remember which one it is. I mean, they're probably the same thing, I don't know. I'm not really one for knowledge. So around the slow corner, pretty easy there. So this thing's a direct competitor for the Aprilia Tuono, the Ducati Street Fighter. I think you'd have to look at it like the Tuono Factory and the Street Fighter S, just to sort of match the specs, because this has got obviously Brembos and sorry, just nip past those two. So this has obviously got the Silemas, it's got WP suspension all round. Yeah, there's a really nice bark from the engine. Look, from the exhaust, sorry. Right, so turning circle will not make it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Turning circle wouldn't make it on this road. These Brembos are like mentally good. God, chaps. I've cycled up this hill before when I was into the bikes without the engines, and it is something else. It's such a leg burn. Bison Hill, there you go. Oh, look at that view, man. When you don't want it to be ASBO, it's actually really easy to ride. Like, it's just really smooth. You can tell you've got a whacking great V-twin underneath you, but it's not. At the moment, it is not urging me to go. One of the things I found with the old one is it didn't really matter what speed you were doing. It was just like, go on, go, 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 go on, go on, and you could feel it just wanted to go. Whereas this is, when you're off the sort of out of the revs, it's happy to just chill. which I actually quite like, because one thing you'll notice with the XR video, you'll probably see that I just wanted to go all the time. It was just ready to go, ready to sort of pounce. It was just ready to absolutely pin it anywhere you went, which is bad for your license, let's put it that way. The TFT dash, the one thing I don't like, the old one used to change between night and day mode all the time. Like, it was just like you went under a tree and it just went, oh no, dark mode. Alright, let's see if it happens now. This one doesn't seem to, see what I mean? Under a load of trees here and it's not changing, which is really good. But the one thing I don't like about it is it goes like a really deep orange. And I know they're trying to sell the whole KTM vibe, but for me, I was just like, oh, I'd just prefer if it was black background with white writing or something like that, like most bikes do. For a Euro 5 engine / exhaust, it sounds really nice. And like you can, like now, where I'm at 4,500 revs, the engine's starting to kick in, the noise is starting to kick in, and it's ready to go. Oh, Senna, say a command again. Probably should slow down 30s. Slow down in 30s, children. 20? Really? When you're poodling around town like this, and then you open up the throttle, you just forget how much grunt there is there. It's just... the speedo doesn't even count up, it just jumps to whatever speed you're doing. So look, national, watch the speedo. It doesn't like count up, it just jumps. I think if you got pulled over by the police on this for wheeling, you could probably get away with saying, sorry officer, it's the bike, it wheelies everywhere. And he'll be like, oh yeah, you ride a Superduke, of course, I understand you're let off. It's a bit jolty here, but then I don't know whether that's the road and the fact that I'm in sport mode. Fine, don't say hi then, dick. It does have a rain mode, and I think, as always, I believe that just dulls the power a little bit down. The other thing I've noticed on this is it's not as... the old one felt like the bike just finished straight in front of you. Like, as in, it just went down and you could barely see the front wheel because it was so short. This one feels like it's got a little bit more in front of you. Genuinely, like, without... I know this is going to sound very obvious, because I know you can essentially tour on anything. This has got cruise control, and I think if you've got a set of if you've got a decent backpack or a set of throw over panniers, I reckon you could probably tour on this. It's not uncomfortable at all. I do like that front light. I mean, you can't stand up and tour, that'd be stupid. Hi guys, yeah, I'm standing up off-road. That's basically what you look like. Oh, yeah, do you know what? This is, it's so much better than it's so much better than the Superduke 2. All these cars coming past now, I'm not actually worried about them because I can just overtake them in 6th gear when I'm poodling along talking to you about nonsense. I mean, there are quite a few here. If you, I don't think you'll ever need to replace the front tyre. You'll have to go through twice as many rear tyres, but you won't need to replace the front. So not ideal because the rears are more expensive, but it's a lot more fun. 1. Four. Let's try the rear brake. There is a car behind me. I'm going to try the rear brake. Rear brake, sort of typical rear brake. It's got a bit of a bite, but nothing. The XR's was quite a lot better. But then I suppose you're going to be using the rear a lot more on the XR rather than this is going to be heavily front brake. Yeah, I have to say, like, I can see why people buy these over the Tuono, because it's essentially a shouty Tuono, a little bit more comfortable, but the dealer network and everything is so much better. The issue with the Tuono for me is that as much as I love them, I think they look incredible and they win every single competition, like every single challenge, every single bike to bike kind of competition, for me it's like an hour and a bit ride to get to my nearest Aprilia dealer, which is, it's fine if you don't ride the bike a lot, and it's fine if you're just going to get the annual service, like you can deal with it. But if anything goes wrong, it's just annoying. And obviously this comes with a fuel gauge, whereas the Tuono doesn't. I never thought I'd say this because I've never really ever liked a Superduke over a Tuono, but yeah. One of the things I did notice on the Superduke 2 is that the Mitchell brothers downstairs cooked quite a lot. It was very warm. Although the seat does feel warm, I don't feel like the twins are cooking. And there's not a lot of heat coming out the side of it, which even on the XR was a problem. 4th gear, and it's just chilled, but then I can also just go. It does bark quite a lot. It just shouts at you. Oh look, already at the speed limit. Oh, this thing. The one thing I will say is, again, I don't know whether this is because I'm in sport mode, but there's quite a lot of vibrations coming through my feet. Not my hands as much, but then the feet definitely. Yeah, there is, so sitting up the rev range, there's quite a lot of vibration. The mirrors are really good, but if I open it up, and you'll see the mirrors just shake themselves to death. I have to say as well, like, I think it'll work quite well for the taller riders. So if you compare this to the Tuono, there's a lot more space for moving your legs around and stuff. So there's a chap in the car park near work that I park in every day, who has a Superduke, and he rides it. I think it's the one though. I think it's the 1st gen Superduke, but he rides it 60 miles each way every day. I mean, that's commitment. Maybe his balls are made of hardened steel or something, but that's credit where credit's due. But also it shows you, if this bike was ludicrously uncomfortable, he wouldn't ride it, and he wouldn't have it. Saying that, I think he's got rid of it and got a scrambler now, but you know. Bearing in mind as well, that was the Superduke 1, not this, which is the 3, which means this has got a hell of a lot better everything. It's so much more comfortable. So much more comfortable, so much more, it's a bit more upright, less batshit crazy, should we say. Does sound really beefy. I love the, I don't know if you can see that, but the DRLs in the mirror. Yeah, it's really sedate around town. Oh, this bike is something else. I'm now flashing red. So summary, bucket loads of power. Again, I seem to be saying that a lot recently. Maybe I should take out some smaller capacity bikes. But yeah, bucket loads of power. A hell of a lot more a lot more comfortable than I thought it was going to be, and usable, I think, around town and like every day. It's not too loud, under sort of 4,500 RPM. Brakes are fantastic. Corners really nicely. A little bit vibey, but that's about it. Leech was really easy to find as well. Yeah, a lot of fun with that. The side stand's really easy to find. Well, it's keyless ignition as well, but I didn't have any problems at all. Thanks mate, I'll be in a second. Yeah, really like that. What that guy was just saying is, so the front end this year, this is like a heat sink, and then the air box goes straight through there, which is really, I mean, I think he said they've dropped the torque figures this year, but you don't notice it. Yeah, I really like that. Really cool. It looks like someone's had a lot of fun as well. One of the other things I will say is the standard exhaust doesn't look horrendous. I mean, all the cats are underneath, but like you can see a massive cat around the other side, but it doesn't look horrendous. Anyway, I'll stop blabbering now. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.